to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razabani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. About 4 and a bit weeks ago, a press conference took place, and we were like, are we actually going to get to fight night? And this time around, are we?
Fingers crossed. I mean, with everything going on, you do get nervous, but yeah, just to be back makes everything worth it. It was one of the hardest moments of our, a day before. It was tough, and we're here, and it feels bigger. This was massive today. I've never seen anything like this, and just can't stop smiling. It was ridiculous. Mayor Baumgartner is set up to be a ridiculous. Look at that rivalry. Look at the way they bounce off each other. Proper fight, and then Shields Marshall needs no introduction. Special night ahead.
It's crazy to think you could put both chief support and main event athletes in a room, and they could just go at it for the whole day, non-stop.
Yeah, I knew with Savannah, because Savannah's always talked about Clarissa fighting, always talked with such contempt, such different personalities. What Clarissa has achieved is phenomenal, and she's had to break down barrier after barrier after barrier in the US, and yeah, they do not like being in the same room. It's almost like deja vu. They can't believe they had to do it again, but it's a proper iconic rivalry, and just being sat there and looking up at it, it's boxing folklore. I genuinely believe this is the first one of its kind, and people remember it for a long, long time. And yeah, that rivalry runs deep. It's been running deep for 10 years, and it's the yin and it's the yang, and it's the brash American against the local hero, really, that's come up the hard way. Wow, massive, massive night.
Every time you were speaking, I saw Dimitri getting a bit he just had the mic ready to counter everything you were wanting to say. I know you're both good friends, but you're both going to vouch for young fighters.
Look, Dimitri's very proud of Clarissa Shields and all her achievements. They've been on a tough road together. They didn't even want to show boxing in the US. They couldn't even get a TV deal. They had to do their own pay-per-views and fill out silly venues all around. And that was the two-time gold medalist. Credit to the UK, where this is the home of women's sport. Fights like this would be in Saudi or Vegas or this or that in the men's sport, but it's here because this is the best place for it. And Clarissa's had to work so hard to be in her position. Understandably, her achievements, no one can compete with her achievements, but I think we're here because Savannah Marshall is a star as well, and she's the one been headlining and filling out arenas, and she's the one that people actually believe can beat Clarissa Shields. And obviously he's gonna promote his fighter and believes this is her massive, massive moment as well.
We saw yesterday Baumgartner and Mayer almost kicking off, and again today almost kicking off. Tomorrow they're going to go at it again for sure. I think security's going to have to be ready.
That fight is just taken on a story of its own. I think when we put it on this card, people said we were crazy doing a women's night, honestly crazy, and people probably still think it. A lot of people said you could have put it on box office with a heavyweight, and whatever people say, this definitely could have been box office, and it will do the biggest viewership we think has ever been done on non-box office event for Sky Sports, and that fight is contributing massively. It's a fucking huge fight. A unification like that, with two personalities like that, and both American, they come and do it in the O2 as well. I didn't think we'd see that fight. There was a lot of politics in the way of that fight as well, and it's happened, and it's here, and it's a massive, massive addition to what is already a huge main event. Lauren Price, Caroline Dubois, Caris Artingstall, they can now look up and see what can be achieved. When Savannah and Clarissa and Michaela turned over, there was none of this. That's what's special. It's a massive week for boxing. It's a good week for boxing, which we need. And I'm just honestly pinch myself moment. This is a dream come true to be in an event of this scale. Madness.
You've had a decent run this year.
Yeah, it's been a good run. And obviously it's hard when you at the start. Savannah was one of the first signings we made, and it's hard because we've had to develop our fighters in less than 12 months. So she's probably the first one that's got to where we want her to be, and she's now in the biggest night of her life, the biggest fight of her life, in the biggest setting. We think we've done a really good job with her. We're really proud of the job we've done with her, and the superstar she's become. We think she's grown as a person, and sometimes all you need is that bit of confidence and that bit of person that believes in you, and she got that, and she has that around her with Peter as well, and Mick, and yeah, it's a proud moment for her and for us. We really feel involved in this one, and yeah, can't wait.
Well, we look forward to a great fight Saturday night. Ben, just quickly, I know we touched on it yesterday, but I just wanted to just read some quotes out that Chris Eubank Snr's left with TalkSport, which says as follows: "They asked me to be in my son's corner. They were trying to pay me to be in my son's corner. They wanted me to be an accomplice to my son's murder." Now, if you think that's strong, you need to talk to Michael Watson, you need to talk to Nick Blackwell, you need to talk to Mike Tyson, you need to speak to Lennox Lewis. Then you'll understand the magnitude of this outrage. Just want to get your reaction to those strong comments.
Strong words, isn't it? Look, we all know this is a ridiculously dangerous sport. If it's done safely, it works, and it's the best sport in the world, but it is dangerous. Again, not even commenting on last week, that's why we have to take things so seriously. As he mentioned, Michael Watson, even Nick Blackwell, things like that. We learn from those moments in the sport, and look, he's emotional, I get it. He's had a tough time, really tough time recently, and to be fair to him, he was the one person saying that the fight shouldn't happen from the start. But again, that promotion was nothing to do with me. I know there's a lot of he said, she said, this and that. I feel for Senior. He feels relieved, I imagine. And but at the end of the day, Junior's a fighter. He is a grown man. He makes his own decisions, and he wanted to get in that ring, and fair enough. And so, look, one thing we can learn from last week is we never want that to happen again. That's what we need to learn, and that's what we need to put in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. Let's look forward. What a night we've got this weekend. But yeah, let's learn from last week, and hopefully there'll be people that really think about what happened, and we can make sure that the sport moves forward in a proper manner. I think for too long it's been the Wild West, and I think it's time now to make sure this sport can grow properly, not just for a few people, but for all the fighters involved and all the sport. It's time to come together and make sure it can do that.
Just finally, yesterday the boys caught up with Brook. He said, look, if the right fight was there and I got up for it, I'll definitely think about it. We saw him today on the pads with Dominic Ingle. Greg Marriott, his nutritionist, was there. Do you think he's going to come back?
I don't know with Cal. Again, I don't know. But what I would say is Eubank Jr. came out of it so well. He has options now. We'd like to see him fight Liam Smith. We think that's the obvious fight. That's the fight the fans want to see. That's a proper fight. And that's what he should be taking. But we'll see. It's up to him. Brook, you know what I think of Kell Brook. He's my favourite fighter. I'd love to see him in the ring in the right way. But if I'm honest, I was glad when he said he was going to retire, because I was like, he was doing it at the right moment and the right time for him. But if he made the decision to come back and he felt good because he'd looked amazing in his last fight, then fair enough. And there's obviously some big fights out there for him as well. Absolutely. Ben, I won't keep you much longer. Obviously, tomorrow's the last one. It's the weigh-in. It is not, but the light's got you. Don't worry. We've got you nice and clean. Tomorrow, weigh-in, and then, roll on Saturday night. Yeah, it'll be on Sky Showcase. It'll be on Sky Sports Main Event. It's on BBC 5 Live. It's on ESPN. It's everywhere. This will be seen by everyone. Weigh-in tomorrow will be interesting. I know Michaela is making weight, and there's been a lot of talk around that. Be interested to see how Clarissa looks on the scales after going back to the US and coming back. And what a massive week, and what a massive week for boxing, and what a massive interest in this fight. I'll see you on Saturday. Ben, Shalom, IFL TV, thank you very much.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something. Completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.